Libra, hello, Ali from Indigo Ascension. Thanks for joining me. If this is your first time here, please do go and check out the links below in the description box where you will find further information on the work that I do as an intuitive energy healer and reader with Indigo Ascension. So you will find links to my Facebook and my Instagram page. Now, guys, if you're returning new to the Instagram page, the weekly quick reads, okay? So as you might be aware, if you check out the videos on the YouTube channel, the fortnightly and monthly readings are quite extensive and they can go in depth, okay? Minimum 30-minute reads, but on Instagram TV, and it will only be on the Instagram page, I will do quick reads each week. So there are now weekly, fortnightly and monthly reads on offer for empaths, intuitives and sensitives. Okay guys, let's take a recap at the cosmic compass. What a big month, right? So many of us, as June kicked off, were perhaps feeling a little bit optimistic about the energies to come. We were sensing change, sensing those energies of freedom and expansion. However, that quickly turned once eclipses hit. Now, if you haven't already, please do go and check out your June 1 to 15 reading where I covered those transits. But this information will be in regards to this reading, is in relation to June 15th to the 30th, okay? So during this period, we will continue to have 5 planets in retrograde. We will have 6 planets in retrograde, guys, but only for 1 or 2 days, okay? So Mercury commences retrograde during this 2-week period. Neptune will also commence retrograde on the 23rd. Venus wraps up it. Can I even speak? Can you tell I've been doing a lot of readings? Venus wraps up its retrograde Libra on July the 26th, and we also have a new moon solar eclipse in Cancer on the 21st, right along with solstice, okay? So whether it is winter solstice or summer solstice depends on where you are in the hemispheres, yeah? Quite a lot of energy, but behind all that, okay, there's always personality types and archetypes going on with the planets, okay? The Sun, quincunx, Pluto and Jupiter offers a lot of expansion of our the deeper shadow stuff that we've been processing since April, thanks to all the planets in retrograde, yeah? If you haven't already, go check out your June Practically Soulful, where I talked about that. We're learning about rules, boundaries, our feelings about intimacy, love, what we're being told to live by when it comes to values, family or otherwise, when it comes to the rules we want to live by moving forward, what's right for us, what feels right for us as we grow and expand, how we deal with expansion, Libra. All of that is relevant now. It's all one thing and all to be aware, okay, of the energy we're experiencing and the thought changes we're experiencing. And then Mercury enters retrograde, and then we're wanting this energy out, which I covered in the first 2-week readings for early June. However, with the quincunx energy of the Sun getting in there with Pluto and Jupiter, there is no denying what's going on beneath the surface now. We cannot kid ourselves. Now, the more conscious we are aware of what is going on for us energetically, emotionally, and on our thoughts, the more we can consciously prepare, address them, and then take less personal how other people might be processing all this alchemical opportunity to really address their fears, yeah? Because we know when Mars gets involved, it's quite heated. It can look chaotic, it can look messy, and I won't lie, June is a hotbed, and I've said that, but when we know, we can prepare, we can expect and time perhaps our schedules around things, or be aware that perhaps the workplace is going to feel really tense that day when we're interacting with customers and clients, or whatever the case may be, Libra. We cannot hide. It's almost like those mini life crises that have to happen to shock us into action, because on subconscious layers, on deeper levels, we want to act, but it's because of our fears that get in the way. There's going to be a lot of increased drive energy thanks to Mars sextile Pluto, and that's going to see us, you know, and it's important. I've encouraged the zodiacs to go and check out their natal charts and see what your Jupiter alignments are, see what, you know, what zodiac sits in, you know, what Jupiter sits in your zodiac placement, what what your Mars sign is, what your rising sign is. Now, Mars is all about our drive, okay? We're going to be feeling this excitement for change, wanting to expand, okay? So it's important, just because you're a Libra sun sign, what your Mars sign is can give you an essence of the flavor of how you actually approach drive and enthusiasm. What gets you out of bed? What gets you kicking towards change? And the other thing, obviously, we're going to close off the month with some interesting energies. After all this eruption, if you like, or volcanic activity in the cosmos, we're going to notice some changes in the ways in which we're communicating, okay? Mercury is going to want to make us connect into other people's differences and, you know, seek compassion, seek excitement in the learning of that difference rather than automatically standing in fear because it is different, you know? Make no mistake, guys, we're wanting to grow, okay? We're going to oscillate between how that feels all month, okay? Wanting change, not knowing how to best do that because we've got old fears, beliefs, addressing them and then trying again. There's this beautiful opportunity to really get deep and understand self and others. And my highest recommendation is quite simply, do not take anything personal. Everyone is addressing things on their own way, in their own way. And yep, many people don't necessarily connect in actively with the cosmic energies and might not be aware how that influences them. Okay, my love, I have pulled for you from the... Goodness gracious, I need to keep names of these or at least update the description box. The Secret Language of Light Oracle deck, okay? Now I've pulled for you Soul Family is your theme for the week, okay, Libra? Now Soul Family is that excitement energy that I was talking about earlier with Mercury, sextile Uranus. It's about connecting into like minds, whether that is online or reconnecting with people we haven't seen for a while, people from our past, or coming into new connections with people that feel like soul family, or simply wanting to focus only on the bonds that truly nourish us, okay? The Soul Family card is number 36. There's a lot of creative balancing, communicating about balancing at play when we're looking at the numerology of those two numbers. And of course, 3 and 6 add up to 9. There is an ending in some way when it comes to graduating out of connections, experiences, relationships, and heading towards more relationships that do align. And that might be happening in the workplace, that might be happening romantically. And certainly the energies that I've been picking up on collectively with the Libras that I've been doing readings for, there are definitely strong endings and beginnings in many ways for you guys. So go and check out your other videos on the channel if you haven't already. Okay, my lovely Libras, let's see how the tarot wants to expand that. But that's your Oracle card to kick off the final 2 weeks of June. Soul Family. You might certainly be having dreams and becoming aware of connections, okay? So it's the connections in our life that challenge us the most or bring us, hey, come here guys, that challenge us the most or bring us the most sense of connection to self, that we just feel that strong familiarity. We know that we know them, or we upon meeting them, we feel like we've known them our whole lives. They feel familiar. So you might be getting that sensation with new connections. You might already confirm that for yourself because you've seen faces in past life dreams or meditations or whatever the case may be, Libra, okay? I've got the Devil, but I've got the Star crossing the Devil. There's a healing here for some deeper bonds and deeper understandings. You know, you're getting clarity. I've got the Ace of Swords underneath all of the deck, the whole deck, okay? You're getting some clarity and really cutting away anything that is toxic influence to you. There's a blessing and a healing here when it comes to toxic bonds, toxic behaviors, beliefs, anything that keeps us bound into the lower realms of ourselves, okay? Really understanding that soul family, as beautiful as this card is, and as amazing as it is to say that, oh yeah, someone feels very familiar, it is also the same apparent thing that happens in connections that look like this, Libra. They just grind our gears. They just seem to know how to push buttons or activate those lower fears, lower deep. And when I say fears, that's a broad term for any emotion that represents, that is rooted in fear, okay? And that's all things like shame, that is like humiliation, that's anger, that is guilt, anything like that, okay? It's understanding those deeper connections to someone that we know are toxic in some way. And it doesn't even have to apparently be toxic. It could be the way in which we feel we need to over nurture. You guys are the master of the balance, you know, of scales, Libra. Now something's being brought into balance here, and there's ultimately been a healing, okay? It might pertain to a Capricorn or an Aquarius. Capricorn season from December into January, as well as Aquarius season which follows it, might be relevant. You might have had quite the period of healing these toxic behaviors, toxic connections, or gaining some greater awareness and bringing self into balance, yes, and receiving healing on some level when it comes to how you ultimately connect into others and the gifts of all connections that have ever crossed our path. I know when we're in the thick of things and it looks like this, it can seem hard to sort of want to say, yeah, that's such a blessing, that connection, but really it just brought me so much grief and really drew out my shadow side. And yes, we are always drawn to each other's shadow side until we are not, Libra. There's been a beautiful healing here and a gift in some way when it comes to your awareness of how toxicity in any form, and toxicity is ultimately the way in which we keep ourselves blocked to the lower realms rather than rising into the higher realms, okay? You've cut something away, and in the recent past, I've got the Queen of Swords. You've recently stepped into your highest essence of self. Now, the Queen is the female of the two, okay? But the Queen and King are masters of their domain, and when it comes to the Queen and King of Swords, they really rule the realms of the mind. So we certainly know what it is to feel imbalanced. Hey, Libra, we certainly know what it is to not have mastery of our thoughts to the point that they're quite toxic. So we've had to master that on some level. And I see here, because this sits in the past, the Queen of Swords is really assuring that in many ways you've stepped into your next level of self. You've stepped into your empowered understanding, intuitive and feminine understanding. You really went in, you were willing to journey into how your thoughts have shaped you and your path and the choices you've made, whether they've been in fear or in love. Okay, how you've connected into the energy of the retrogrades and allowed yourself and your life to expand, how you've allowed yourself to understand your fears on deeper beliefs. You've really looked at, from a logical point of view, your relationship with intimacy, love, and your beliefs around that, how that was modeled to you. There's a beautiful, we've stepped into our power, I see that many Libras really received a healing, okay, in the very things that we've just discussed. There's been a lot of research, a lot of watching, a lot of information sent and received, okay? Above all this is the gift of the Page of Swords is communication, yes, and communication doesn't have to necessarily be verbal. Communication can be telepathic, it can be downloads, it can be spiritual experiences, because I've got the star here as well, okay? So you might be receiving like cosmic downloads. You might be receiving spiritual understanding through dream state, okay? Your mind, your subconscious, is trying to communicate messages to you in beautiful synchronistic ways. Whether you see pictures, whether you see repetitive numbers, whether you see repetitive symbols, whether you're experiencing active dream state, okay? Take it however it resonates. I feel some deeper stuff here that's going on, because you really, underneath all this is the Death card. I am no doubt connecting into many Libras that are graduating into that next level of themselves. Like I said, not only have you stepped into your highest domain of self, whether you are male or female Libra, you really are, underneath it all, you are getting clear on something important, something long-standing, something that has been around for a while. And I do even want to say you are dropping karmic lines, old ways of thinking and believing about yourself and your possibilities. And that is amazing. The Death card symbolizes deep transformative energy, you know, from the inside out. And these sort of cards show up and are proof to me that individuals have been doing some deep work. Authentically wanting to understand self is the most courageous choice any of us can make, Libra, because we know that it's going to bring us smack bang in the middle of this. Okay, lots of major arcana cards to kick it right off. I literally have the devil, the death card, the star, and then right next to it is the chariot. I'm going to say, as you close off the final 2 weeks, excuse me, of June, you're either going to want to start, you're going to be antsy for travel and wanting to get away, move forward with your plans. The way I see a couple of cards that are likely to happen next. Now, the chariot card also rules Cancer. So the Cancer new moon solar eclipse is going to be imbued with the essence of new that you've been wanting in many ways, Libra, because I see you've probably been working right the way through since last December in many ways, and you've been cutting, clearing, getting to know self, addressing this relationship thing, addressing this sense of I feel a strong sense of wanting to be autonomous, and that's why I said relationship, because I don't know if there are many Libras that are ending certain connections or important connections, or the relationship you have with yourself is fundamentally changing, Libra, in many ways, and you are going to want to move forward strongly. Okay, July is going to be significant for this, so whether this applies to you or not, the June solar eclipse new moon in Cancer, if you're called to it, if you do some sort of ritualistic practice, and you can do that as practical or as esoteric as you want, okay? Now, you are ruled by the dark experiences of your path since time started for you, you know, and you were also ruled by the experiences that were of the light. Connections, soul family, experiences that were both dark and light, ultimately gifts, and by being led by them when we're marching off into the distance in our chariot and riding away and forward, most importantly, we are led by the memories of these because they offer us wisdom, not because we want to carry the burdens and we're constantly overthinking things, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, or we're carrying unhealthy energetic bonds to our past and memories. We are led by the wisdom only, and that's the only thing we take, okay? The chariot is single. It doesn't share its chariot with anyone, and we can be within a couple, we can be within a family, but we are still sovereign and free. And sometimes in our nurturing and as empaths, okay, we want to tie into those that matter the most to us, even with our children. There's some level of disconnect that we must take responsibility for, so the other may flourish, and we too deserve to flourish on our path. But I'm definitely picking up vibes here of Librans wanting to pave their path forward, and yes, autonomously too in many ways, okay? So whether relationships that have ended, whether you're noticing deep shifts and change in significant ongoing relationships, the dynamic is changing, and if it's changing for the better, for more healthier reasons, out of unhealthy reasons, and we can play that as subtle or as hectic as we like, all the more better. Everyone deserves to feel sovereign and free. Okay, you're wanting to rush forward, but you're also wanting to make sure this choice, this pathway offers a deep commitment, long-standing commitment. It offers something of value when it comes to grounded energy that isn't flighty, because this energy is flighty. Yes, the Knight of Swords is rushing and he's head first and he's almost not thinking, Libra, and you're hesitant to approach your next decision, your next move, or whatever the case may be in the final 2 weeks of June. You're hesitant to approach your path in the same way. But because you are the scales, you're also very balanced, all right? You're taking a mixture of both. Don't get stuck in either one or the other. Know that ultimately when we're moving, okay, we're always... I'm just looking at these cards. This is looking back and wanting to rush back and fix something, perhaps, or wanting to rush back and redo something, and then come back with a solid offer is what I want to say for a couple of Geminis that might be relevant, okay? But as we rush forward with this Knight of Swords energy, it's important to thoroughly know ourselves, okay? Which you've been on a journey here, Libra, I can see in many ways. This is a deep commitment to the path ahead, but what I feel in many ways you're deeply committing to is as you free yourself of toxic binds and old ways of being, old ways of thinking, you really are going to free up this excited passionate energy of the King of Wands. You're really going to become the master of the realms of fire and creativity is a necessary and perhaps the only ingredient that starts change. We must be enthusiastic about life. We must be enthusiastic about a project, a path, a connection. There's a deeper desire here to connect into passion and sensuality and excitement for just every moment and the decisions we're making, Libra. Maybe the fire in you has been out for a while because we've been doing an eat, sleep, repeat pattern. And when a death of old ways, a death of old versions of ourselves and ways of being and living life and routines happens, you know, it will feel like a beautiful energetic lift in some way when we feel the density lift from us. When we leave a job that's not good for us, when we leave a relationship that is well and truly past its use by date, when we graduate out of friendship circles and find new ones because we're expanding soul family, and that's the deeper drive here. You're wanting to feel excited, Libra. You're wanting to feel excited about the path ahead. So it really is an invitation to travel, expand, connect into even research online. You know, the Page of Swords is a real watching online energy, and there's a lot of swords here. You guys are the swords too. It's about communication and communicating with those that feel like soul family. It doesn't have to be within your, immediate future, but there is a travel card here. You might be wanting to connect with others that do not live near you, okay, in some way or another. This is a deeper desire to connect into the passions and the fire that gets us up every day and makes us want to feel excited about life again, because we've been living an eat, sleep, repeat pattern in many ways. And there's only so many ways in which we can get excited, when we're watching the same things on TV or fulfilling the same routines and roles in the home and workplace, and we're wanting an ending. But it's because of we're wanting to feel excited about life again. It's about sparking your energy body, and yes, becoming aware of your energy body too, and how that feels around certain people, how important it is to nurture your energy body. Now that I'm connecting up, because there's a healing here from anything that is toxic, but sometimes we're not really aware of how toxic something is until it becomes apparent and there are issues and conflicts that arise. I'm now picking up on a frequency where there's Libras out there that are becoming super sensitive because you are experiencing downloads, awareness, cosmic guidance, an increase in your empathy, your sensitivity and psychic ability, becoming more and more aware of connections that our soul family is very much tying us into past life stuff, familiarity. Why do I sense that I know that individual when I know in my head I've never met them? What is this energy I'm experiencing? Becoming super aware of the energy body. And certainly for those that have been on the path and journey for a while, it's like an elevation into the next level of your energy body too as well, Libra, okay? So that you're feeling excited and passionate about path again. The Nine of Coins finishes your reading, and it is about autonomy, okay? It is about self-sufficiency and reviewing how much you truly have gained. Maybe I'm connecting into Libras that felt on some level they needed some connections, or their connection to a job, their connection to a friendship, their connection to certain family members to be a certain way. But there's some beautiful, fruitful gifts that can be gained when we accept that we can be sovereign. We all deserve to feel sovereign because it feels free. And even when we're on our own, we can achieve certain things on our own. Whether you are separating and becoming single and knowing that you can look after self, okay, and feel confident doing so, and you're committing to this long-term goal of building this whole new chapter that you're actually quite excited about, because you are putting an end to old things and old ways, old connections. Whether this means you are changing the way in which you connect to other people that might have been toxic for you, Libra, that didn't make you feel like you deserve to be proud of yourself because they were toxic. This is that frenemy energy that I'm picking up on, where family even do this, where they keep you to some level. But this is about really acknowledging the fact of how much you have achieved, learned, and done all on your own, despite the fact of the influence of this heavier density energy that exists in connections that are there to help us highlight our shadows and to bring that healing forward, Libra. All right, this also might be a beautiful career path that we are moving towards. We're wanting to rush towards a career change, guys. Ending of one job, one workplace, one reality into another that brings us a substantial amount of financial success is what I want to say. Okay, Ace of Swords, we're getting clear. Something is ending for sure. Cutting something away. There are higher principles at play, spiritual principles at play. When it comes to the Hierophant, you might be dealing with a Taurus, okay? These are religious beliefs, even higher view of things, that everything had to happen as it did, because I do see here there's been a Tower moment, okay, an ending to things, okay? This really clarifies the Death card, Libra. You guys have taken something right down to the ground and you're committed to building from the ground up. This is your beliefs, your view of yourself and your opportunities moving forward, the way in which you connect, the connections you've allowed, the connections that have been perhaps outgrown their purpose and you've identified that are quite toxic, and the ones that we've kept a while, you know, something had to really shake your foundations, you know, or fall to the foundation so you can actually assess how to do this from the ground up that suits you, because it's been decided by you and not given to you by religious beliefs, society, family, fears, or otherwise. It is when we get to the depths of our fears and our drives, our subconscious thought patterns, whatever the case may be, Libra, we can truly understand how we want to build moving forward. And you're moving forward. You definitely are. The Chariot, like the new moon solar eclipse in Cancer on the 21st coincides with solstice, guys. There is a distinct changing of the guard. You're going to energetically feel this. You might be energetically, physically moving, traveling, wanting to travel, getting away, to celebrate the successes and everything you have achieved, so that you can give yourself that autonomy energy to really just enjoy the fruits of thy labor and redetermine how you want to best move forward, okay? But like I said, that Tower moment had to happen, so that a coming together and a celebration in some regard had to happen too. There's definitely a separation, okay? This is karmic balancing. This is separation. This is anything to do with the courts, legal matters, okay? A separating can be from a person, an old way of being, old beliefs. There's a lot of, wow, Libra. You haven't transformed, like literally the last 8 weeks, even going back as far as August last year. This is huge, okay, huge. The Judgment card is when soul calls, when our higher self calls, we have an opportunity to rise and listen, or we can ignore it and continue the same old path. But I'm talking to many, many Libras that heard the call, and they're currently experiencing a manifestation of those changes that you've been intuiting, receiving, knowing, acting upon. Sure, probably slowly, okay? But in many ways, I think last August was significant. Across December, January into February was significant, okay? And this chapter closes. Oh, yeah, guys, of course, because of the eclipse cycle. Whatever you started, whatever issues arose, whatever began, early December, even into November. I'm going to take it back to August, okay? I see August. There's a lot of online communications. Maybe stuff was started, a question was asked, or whatever the case may be. It's significant. Maybe someone was born in August. I'm not quite sure because of this King of Wands. I'm seeing this as well. All right, so that's Leo. But it could be also a Virgo, because that's the Virgo minor arcana, the 9 of coins. Something about August. We're now closing an eclipse cycle, okay? And I've mentioned that in the June readings, guys, so take a look at that. But there's linking energies from what was started in early December, perhaps began as early as August, and we're wrapping that up now in many ways, okay? Ending of a chapter for you. This is the next level up, okay? And all the Libras that I'm connecting to will know that. Literally was looking at the Judgment card before, going, if I see the world, your life as you know it will not be the same again, and doesn't even feel like you are the same person as this time last year. This is even global recognition, world travel. I know we're currently in a lot of restrictions, connections to other people on the other side of the globe, I'm going to say as well, Libra, because of all this online communication. Soul family, connecting into soul family, this is your theme after a time of loss. And that was probably perhaps the long journey of, like when I said earlier, when the Knight of Coins shows up, like it feels like this journey has taken a while. It's been a while because it was a hard time to let go of emotional loss of the past, okay? Probably tying into a King of Pentacles energy, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. All right, my loves. I'm going to wrap this up with a new oracle card that I haven't had on the channel before, and these oracle cards are from my daughter, so I've just borrowed them from her. They're cute, they're beautiful, and they're sweet. They're called the Oracle of the Unicorns, and it's by Cordelia Francesca Brabs, but I will update my description box below. I just love the images on that. These are the first deck of oracle cards that I got her for her birthday. Because we've worked hard, okay? And since April, we've been working hard with retrograde season and these eclipses. We're kicking off a new eclipse cycle. We finished June with some beautiful uplifting energy after that time. But Libra, I have no doubt you have done deep work. You have implemented deep change, consciously, emotionally, mentally, like I said, energetically even. So let's see how June wraps up for you. Courage. Look at this. You are safe. Fear is simply an illusion. Set strong boundaries. And these are the gifts of what you've been going through, and definitely clarified. This clarifies the tarot. Look at you there with your white unicorn. You've got your sword there in case you need it, okay? You know that you can take off and do what you need to do. And you are I mean, I'm pretty sure all the images are solitary in this. No, they're all unicorns. But look at this, is you connecting into the ethers. Like this is that soul family energy that I was saying. Not all of the unicorns feature an individual. Okay, this is you connecting into the magic, the unseen realm. So when I was talking about soul family and downloads and messages from the divine, whether you receive that from, you know, meditation or from dream state, whatever the case may be, Libra, this is you connecting into courage in that way, getting guidance on how best to move forward, getting guidance from higher self and the unseen. We don't have to always think we know what to do. We can just feel our way through emotionally, energetically, psychically, yeah? But you are courage personified, if you so choose, my dear. May the magic of the unicorns be with you this month as we close off a beautiful eclipse month of some hectic retros, but they've been of purpose. Karmic timelines are dropping. Welcome to the next level of you, Libra. Hopefully this resonates. If so, please do like, share, and subscribe. Let your fellow empath, intuitive, and sensitive friends that might be on an awakening journey, let them know about the channel. But like I said, check out the Instagram page for your quick reads, which I do every week, but it's only on Instagram, okay? It's a nice check-in to see how you're going. Hopefully this has helped for now. That was your fortnightly for the 15th to the 30th. Take care, Libra. See you next time.